Nowadays, people are trying to find the most efficient way of training by implementing scientific methods. Almost every fitness influencer, every fitness guru seems to be a science based lifter. Oh, don't do this exercise, do this because science says so, because it's optimal. But there is a question we should ask. Are being a good scientist and a good athlete or a coach correlated things? So let's just get down to business. I'm gonna give you a couple examples, and the first example is gonna be our beloved Dr. Mike. Of course, everybody knows Dr. Mike. So, on his YouTube channel, on his Instagram, there are no links referring to his PhD work, to all his articles and all this stuff, which I think is some sort of a disrespect because you are a doctor and you are a freaking fitness guru, fitness celebrity. Everybody knows you. Why wouldn't you do this? I think there are people who are really interested in your scientific work. On his website, for instance, nothing but him pushing his freaking apps. Guys, next time you wanna take some fitness celebrity words seriously, always remember that they do this only for the one reason: money. You think they seeking the truth? You think that they want you to be jacked and strong? But why? You don't even know these people. How can you trust them so much? Why don't you consider an option that they're just trying to rip you off and get your attention to get more revenue out of it? I'm just saying. But let's go back to our Mike. The only way to figure out what it was all about was to go to East Tennessee State University, where Dr. Mike graduated from. And you see there are a bunch of links. We're not really interested in it because it's scheduled our classes. So this link, boom, Dr. Mike, Doctor of Philosophy, with his article. So what was it all about? It's on your screen, you can pause and read it. I'm just gonna read the conclusion. These findings reinforce the importance of body composition in athletic performance. From a practical standpoint, the results of the study suggest that body composition advantages, more muscle, less fat, may be associated with higher relative strength, power, and vertical jumping abilities. These are mind-blowing results. Keep it up, guys. Maybe next time you'll make some new amazing discoveries, like that adults are stronger than kids, or males are stronger than females. But guys, do you think that this is PhD level we're talking about? Do you really think we need 6 future-to-be doctors to investigate this? I think this is pretty obvious. Every freaking kid would figure it out. Every freaking human being on planet Earth with little basic freaking logic and common sense would figure it out. Why do we overcomplicate stuff? Is it that really important in scientific world? I think nobody really cares about it. But I'm not gonna shit on Dr. Mike because at least he holds a title. But there are a bunch of people who go like a scientist reacts to blah blah blah, some sort of stuff like this. And there are just random guys on the internet. Like, who made you a scientist? What the freak you talking about? Like, nowadays, everybody seems to be an expert in freaking sports science or psychology. And I think there's something wrong with this. It whether shows us that these spheres of human knowledge are not real sciences, or these people are just freaking charlatans and they actually don't know anything. But I'm just saying, let's go back to Dr. Mike. Did his PhD help him to achieve something? Did he achieve what he wanted? Did he make it to pros? Not really. Did he coach people? Yes, he did. Did he achieve something as a coach? Not really. So again, I'm not shitting on Dr. Mike and Dr. Mike's physique, but let's just look at this situation objectively. He's been training for a long time, like for many years. He's been shooting steroids for like 15 years probably or something. I don't really know. I'm not a lore freaking master of Renzo's periodization, but he is just an average steroid user. And there's nothing wrong with this. I'm not going against steroid users because there are many people who go like, oh, I'm a natural athlete. Like, I'm the freaking elitist. Like, that's some sort of crap. And I'm not saying he's weak. I'm just saying he's an average steroid user. He's pretty jacked, pretty strong, but nothing really special about him. He's not like #1 bodybuilder or powerlifter, not even close. There are many people in the world who are better than him, or at least on his level, but nobody refers to their opinions as some sort of 100% truthful source of information. So does the freaking PhD help Dr. Mike becoming stronger and more jacked? Not really. Is his opinion more valuable on how to do sports because he's a freaking doctor? Not really. There's another example, Professor Silyanov, a Russian guy. And it's kind of interesting because Dr. Mike is from Russia, I believe. And there was another guy, a kettlebell guy, Tsatsulin. These Russians are pushing some sort of like innovative training methods or some sort of stuff like this, which is kind of interesting because we got bend resistant training and training with chains and plyometrics and all this freaking periodization stuff originally is from Soviet Union. So this guy, Silyanov, he was well respected figure. And in the same time, he came up with some freaking ridiculous training methods, like some sort of like static dynamic crap. And he tried to coach people several times. And guess what? He failed miserably every time. For instance, he suggested that marathon runners shouldn't train running, they should do his static dynamic crap. Like, I'm not even going to explain how freaking stupid it is. I'm just saying that being a science guy and being a good athlete or a coach are not correlated things. And you could see there are a bunch of athletes who perform on the top level and they are not scientists. Like, none of them. But why? You see, there are many different spheres of human knowledge where we can't use practice to prove something. We only can operate with theory. Like astrophysics, for instance. What's going on Jupiter? Nobody really knows it. We just can assume that there's like thick layer of clouds, another thick layer of clouds, some sort of like metallic liquid hydrogen, some sort of like silicon core, this pressure, this temperature, and it is just a theory. And it's absolutely normal because we don't have an access to practice yet. We can't prove it. We can't really go to freaking Jupiter and see what's going on. And there are many different theories on many controversial topics because we base our opinion on just facts that are related to this particular topic and some sort of measurements, but we don't know if we are 100% sure about it. And again, as I said before, it's completely normal. But when we're talking about sports, do we really need theory? I really doubt it. All the guys who claim to be science-based lifters, what science do they represent? It's called exercise science. And at first I thought it was some kind of a joke, but it turned out it was not a joke. It is a real thing. It's called sport physiology. And it's up to you guys if it's a real science or not, but in my opinion, in sports, if it works, it is science. If it doesn't work, it's bullshit. It's that simple. We don't have to go theoretical way if we just can't prove it on practice. If you want to learn how to shoot properly, what are you gonna do? Learn stuff from some sort of like professors of ballistics, or you just go to shooting range and being coached and trained by a professional shooter. And the same stuff with every sport activity. In big sports like football, hockey, basketball, soccer, boxing, there is no such thing as scientific approach because there are millions of dollars at stakes. Everybody wants 100% efficiency. And if you're hired as a coach and your team's winning, it's okay. If your team sucks, you'll be fired, and nobody cares if you're science-based or not. And you think that lifting weights is something really different? Okay, what about Olympic weightlifting? Have you heard about scientific approach in Olympic weightlifting? What about powerlifting, strongman, CrossFit, arm wrestling, street lifting, bodybuilding? Guys, have you ever heard that Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, and all the bunch of freaking huge hulks trained, scientifically approved? Not really. The only sport activity where we can see science-based approach is fitness. And you guess why? Because people don't compete in fitness. There are just a bunch of people who want a magic pill, and there are a bunch of people who provide them with the magic pill. So to me it's clear that you don't have to learn science to progress. You just want to lift weights, train boxing, swim, run, perform any kind of activity, you name it. So stop overcomplicating training methods. Stop this paralysis by analysis thing. Sport is not a science. It's just a hard work, dedication, and consistency. And the only PhD that matters in sports is pretty huge delts. So guys, share your opinion on science-based approach. Did you train like this? How was it? And I'll see you in the next video.